inviting Micah here. Hello. Hello.
I love your face. I'm so excited to connect with you on this topic. Oh my goodness.
I love your face. I'm so excited. Yay.
Oh, that's Artemis's tail.
Here, kitty. Hi, Hillary. Hi, Cassie. Hi, guys. Hi, Artemis. Oh, we've got hearts from Cassie. I love it. Yay. Lila's over here digging. Otherwise, I would grab her too. Yay. How are you doing?
I am so well. I am so well. How are you tonight?
I'm good. Just did a little yoga earlier and yeah, excited to chat about the outdoors.
Yeah, same. My favorite topic, I swear. I'm so glad we connected on this.
Mm-hmm.
We've had
Yeah,
quite a few adventures
yeah,
since we met.
yeah. We'll definitely talk about that. Um, just a little background. So Mike and I were in the same somatic coaching program through Pause, breathwork, and coaching. We were in the same pod group, so we would meet every other Wednesday evening. Sorry if you're hearing Lila. Can you hear her?
Yes,
You can.
that's okay. Yeah.
Lila, stop digging. Okay, so we would meet every other Wednesday, and then you and I just completely bonded because I remember one time we got on a call, and I forget how we like made the connection, but we started talking about nature, and ever since then it was just like done.
Yes. Yeah, I
And we,
don't remember who initiated it, but I do remember us connecting afterwards and like, let's actually get on a call. Let's talk more about this.
yeah, I think it was because I think either you or I think it might have been you had like talked about doing more like somatic things outdoors.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to hop on a call to brainstorm about what that would look like. And then, yeah, since then we've done so many fun adventures and like had our own fun little hiking trips and
Yeah.
stuff. Yay. Well, well, I have some of our fun topics set up. So I know we want to talk about like nature, hiking, building resilience. I think one of the cool things that you suggested was how getting outdoors can offer perspective and doing something slightly uncomfortable can build everyday resilience. So I'm curious, Micah, how does being outdoors build your resilience?
Oh my gosh, it's such a great question. Resilience, like obviously, I'm a burnout recovery coach. So stress and resilience is something I spend a lot of time thinking about. And for me personally, getting out in nature, it's like my soul's medicine.
Mhm.
That's what I need to feel fully right in myself and right in the world. There's something about getting out and getting like out of my, everyday surroundings and getting into like this beautiful place that no one but Earth built.
Mm-hmm.
It offers so much perspective. And I think like for me, like what's really recent here, I'm a California native. For those that are watching, if you know where Yosemite is, like I live right at the base of that. I live fairly close to Yosemite, and Kings Canyon is Sequoia National Park. So I play a lot in the Sierra Nevadas, and we have been hit extremely hard the last few years by these really insane forest fires.
Mm-hmm.
And going out into the mountains and being with these trees that I've made connections with, and have like being able to see one, some of them have disappeared, but then seeing others that have been so dramatically burned by fire, but they're built for that. And so to see like how much fire damage is done to these trees and yet they still stand. They're not dead, they still grow, they still provide a home and everything for all the critters and the birds and everything like that. They provide food for the forest animals. It's if a tree can go through that much literal trauma and still be a beautiful thing, and a thing that's still of service in its ecosystem, I can too, and you can too. And it's like awe-inspiring to see.
Oh my God. That's just like mind blowing. I feel like so many different metaphors just popped into my head on because when you said building resilience, I thought you meant like building your own resilience, which I mean I think you do to a
Yes.
degree, but you're saying that nature is a symbol for resilience and like the things that the trees go through and the fires and the fact that it's just like still standing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Cassie says, I love that. I needed that. Holy wow. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, full belly chills. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know I do like there's a symbology of being in nature. There is that symbology. I'm really big on symbology. But there's also like a very real element to it too. So, if I can tell a story, last May, you and I went to Lake Tahoe together after California had like its 100-year biblical storms, and there was so much snow and there was so much water. And one thing that you didn't know about me was that I had a deathly fear of snow not a couple of years
Yeah.
before that. Right? And we wanted to hike. You wanted to hike to Eagle Lake. And I was like, I'm game for whatever. And we're hiking. And then we get to this part where we're having to like navigate like extreme water flow through these it's not a trail. It's actually kind of paved. There's some traily parts
Yeah.
and there was just snow
Crazy.
everywhere. We were up to our knees. Yeah, we were like up to our knees of water in some places. Like it was kind of dangerous and
Mm-hmm.
slippery and you know it was interesting. It was
Very.
challenging. And so yeah, having to navigate that being our first time on that trail. And then once we got past that point, then there was another trail that goes up to Eagle Lake that was completely snowed in.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember we were walking through the snow, and I don't think I had said anything at this point. And we got so far, I was moving very slowly. I was taking my time because I was having an internal battle with my fear of snow that was like coming up and having to like face that and take it, celebrate myself for doing something hard,
Yes.
like internally while not making like this big because I was afraid if I said anything to Lauren, if I said anything to you, I was just gonna melt down.
Oh.
And I think finally, oh no, like I was having my own process, and I think finally I was like, look, this is actually a really, really big deal for me. And I could see you were ready to go to the lake, and I was like, okay, I have to like take a step back and just go at my own pace, let you go and do your thing, and I'm gonna get as far as I possibly can, like determined to get to that lake. And man, I was just like, I think I was like shooting reels and like falling in the
Yeah.
snow all at the same time while I was by myself. And all the while, instead of being frustrated with the situation and letting my fear overcome me, I just kept telling myself like what a good job I was doing and like just celebrating every step I took. Every
Mm-hmm.
like I must have fallen in the snow like 20 times, and I got to a point where I was like getting tired. I was like, okay, it's okay for me to say like, and this is where I think like we talk about window of tolerance in somatic coaching. This is my window of tolerance. I'm getting too tired now and I'm going to hurt myself if I keep going. So I'm going to titrate. I'm going to pull back. I'm going to start heading back to where I feel more safe.
Mm-hmm.
And then I ended up running into a guy literally because I fell on my butt and slid down the snow. But yeah, like that was a huge resilient. Like I could have melted down. I could have easily just melted down, but instead, like I had spent a couple of years like building up the tools and the self-talk and self-celebration to push
Mm-hmm.
myself to where I felt just uncomfortable enough, and then say, okay, that was
Yes.
that was good.
Did
Yeah,
it. You conquered it. And
yeah.
Cassie's saying, good for you for conquering that.
Thank you, Cassie.
You definitely overcame your challenge. And I think that's a really good story and a good symbol of resilience. And yeah, you hadn't, you like kind of alluded that you were scared of snow, but I guess I didn't know it was to that degree at the time. So I'm definitely proud of you. And Yeah, it was still a fun hike for both of us.
It
So.
was a great hike. Yeah, it was a good time.
Mhm. So as you were talking about resilience and nature being a symbol for resilience, one thing that came to mind for me too is nature also being a symbol for abundance. And I know that Sam has talked about this as well. So this was kind of the thing that clicked for me when she was teaching us about abundance and like what exactly is abundance. So, um, like when thinking about things that are abundant, think about going out into nature and admiring the beauty and just appreciating the beautiful nature. There is literally so much beautiful nature everywhere. You could never experience all of it in your entire lifetime. Like it is that abundant where there's infinite beauty in nature, and I think of that every time I go out now. It's like nature
Mhm.
is such a symbol for abundance, and by being in its presence and being able to experience that, it just really helps to instill that metaphor in you. And
Yeah.
yeah, that was one thing that came to mind too, as you were talking about resilience and abundance and how nature can just be a metaphor for so many different things.
Yeah, and even if so for a lot of people getting out into the wilderness is not accessible.
Mm-hmm.
There is still, we don't think about it in urban landscapes, but there is still a lot of nature to be enjoyed. Nature always finds a way. And, even in like a flower pot or, the, whenever they put the trees in and the sidewalks, there's always opportunity to be out in nature, even if you can't be like out in the wilderness, like
Yeah.
we tend to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's still beauty in those little micro moments. If you can
Mm-hmm.
just slow down and observe like what is present around you, the shapes of the things and how things twist and turn and flutter in the wind, like how all the different parts of nature interact with each other, from animals scurrying around the ground, like looking for acorns, or had the wind playing in leaves. Like there's so much beauty to be had, even closer to home.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, definitely agree. And yeah, I definitely the fact that it's not always accessible. People can't always go on these huge backpacking trips, nor do people want to. But just taking a trip for a day and going to a different part of town and enjoying the beautiful nature there. So again, it plays into the abundance. There's always something new to see. There's always something to experience, even if it's just like admiring the birds that are in your neighborhood and just tuning into that. And yeah, I feel like nature is art, is what it is. It's God's art, or whatever you believe in. It's
Yeah.
um like every time I'm in nature and I'm seeing something beautiful, I'm like, I could not make this up. Like it's just
Right. Yeah,
yeah.
I love that nature is art. It really is. It's very artful.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful insight.
Yeah. So definitely symbol for resilience, symbol for abundance, symbol for creativity and creation. And um, I always feel very grounded in nature too. Whenever I go through a somatic exercise where I'm needing to feel more grounded and helping to relieve stress, I picture myself rooting into the earth and like picturing myself connected to what's around me. So I think we spend a lot of time in our day to day, and like especially if you work a job on a computer, you're kind of like in the zone all the time. So it helps to take a step back and think of where you came from and who you're connected to. And I'm just reading some of the comments from Cassie. Reminds me of Little Mermaid pools.
I want to hear about these mermaid
I want to hear
pools.
about them too. I don't remember which ones you're talking about. That's on my bucket list. You'll have to send them to me, Cassie, so I can see them. um, but yeah, so Mike and I have done a lot of fun trips. We were in our program 2 years ago, but since then we've been able to meet mostly in California because I do find myself out there a lot,
And Oregon.
and a little bit of Oregon, at least like 4 times. So Yeah, we're definitely nature girlies, and yeah, we like to go out and adventure. And yeah, we've done Tahoe, and we had a little retreat with some of our Paws friends in Oregon, and we're hoping to meet up in San Diego later this year. So yeah, lots of fun adventures on the horizon.
Yeah.
Um,
We've done Yosemite
mhm,
and Kings Canyon
mhm.
or Sequoia, one of the two.
Yeah, whichever one you're close to. I forget which
Both of them. They're both attached. It's weird.
one.
Yeah. Took you to the big
Yes,
trees.
love the big tree.
We did Bend briefly. Oh, the mermaid pools in Oregon.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. There's a lot of beautiful like rivers, and like I would spend time going down by the river and just like putting my feet in the water, because even the act of just like what I was talking about, rooting and just putting your feet in the water, and it's not something that you do in your daily life. So
Yeah.
yes.
That's my favorite thing to do after a hike is to get my bare feet in cold, cold water.
Mhm.
Yeah. So good.
The best. Yay. So, Micah, I'm curious, what types of somatic practices do you implement as you're in nature, like in order to be more present and experience it more and enjoy it more? Is there anything that comes to mind?
Yeah. I think for me, just grounding. Grounding is a big one. Just really rooting into space, like the practice you were talking about, rooting into space and just being fully present in my body. Breath work, obviously, is something that I get really high on. I love doing breath work. It helps sort of like clear out and activate what needs to be cleared out and what needs to be activated, and allows me to really touch. I feel like with all of my senses where I am energetically as well as physically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, I think breath work, especially outdoors, is amazing because you're breathing all the fresh air, and like if you're near a waterfall, they emit something called negative ions, which are really good for you too. I forget exactly what they do, but yeah, just having the fresh air in your lungs, and like being able to breathe in all your surroundings. That's definitely something I do when I'm hiking too. I try to, um, breathe a little bit deeper just to help steady my heart rate, and so I'm not as like in my fight or flight just from like hiking all day. So it
Yeah.
definitely helps to feel more grounded and build that endurance over time too.
Yeah. I I'm a slow hiker. I always joke with people who are like really aiming to get to point, like to an end point in a hike, that I am going to take my time because I have to make friends with every flower, every bug, and every bird. And so it takes me a while to get from point A to point B, but I think having that opportunity to just be slow and be present, and instead of being like, because I definitely can get into this mode of there is a target and I need to reach and achieve that target, and if I don't, I've failed in some way. And so it's something like I have to do battle with every time I'm on a trail, like just to slow down,
Mm-hmm.
really like take in my surroundings, really just like observe what is happening. What's the story that the environment is wanting to share with me? There's always some download I'm receiving from just being in nature and just taking it slow.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I always get more insight on like where I'm going, and like just having those quiet moments is just so important.
Mm-hmm.
So important.
Yes, I love that. I totally agree. One thing that I love to do when I go on hikes, because I'm the same way, and I think this is a common thing, like especially if you're going to Yosemite and you need to see certain things or like see the waterfall, you're just like, oh yep, seen it, keep going. It's like no, like take it in, like you want to take like a second to enjoy it. And one thing that I like to do is when I reach my final destination or whatever, I'll set a timer and basically allow myself to sit in stillness for even just a minute or 5 minutes. And I love what you said about getting downloads from nature too. I think, that's part of where the resilience comes into, and where you can learn so much just by quieting yourself and tuning in and just allowing your surroundings to speak to you, and to receive information in that way, I think is so powerful. So I totally agree. And um, what was the other thing that you said? I had another thought, but I lost it.
Okay.
Yeah, just getting downloads in nature, and oh
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, like I think they say like nature helps to clear your mind too, because you're basically just turning off all your surroundings and all the excess, and you're just present. You're like, forced to be in this environment, or I mean, choosing to be in this environment. So I think it definitely, like, the clearing your mind aspect, I think is super helpful and healthy for you too.
Yes, 100% agree. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
It's not always about the destination.
Mm-hmm.
I know that when we were in Yosemite, we visited that reservoir
Mm-hmm.
and we had the idea to get to that waterfall. And I think we hit a point where we were like, well, this is a beautiful spot. Let's just
Yeah, let's just stop
be
here.
be present and be in this beautiful spot. And that was just perfect. It was
Yes.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The journey gets to be the destination.
Yes.
That's what Carrie would always say, our pod
Yeah.
coach. For. Yeah. Cool. Well, I think we covered a lot of the topics that we wanted to talk about. Is there anything else that's coming through for you that you want to chat? I'm excited to see you later this year in San Diego,
I'm
and
so excited for your birthday. Can't
yeah,
wait. Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. Um, yeah, let me see. Yeah, I'd be curious if you have any stories about how doing something hard in nature really changed your perspective or changed maybe a belief that you had about yourself.
Yeah, I think um, I definitely got more into hiking and being out in nature during COVID, just when, things were shut down and I was spending a lot of time on the West Coast and things like that. I love the concept you brought up on titration, because I've always been outdoorsy, but I was never that outdoorsy. Like, I grew up in Iowa. We didn't have like that much nature near us, but I would just slowly like venture out and just go on this hike, and maybe try it again and go a little bit further the next time. So I think, pushing myself in that way, and just I did a reel one time on Instagram, and I think it resonated with a lot of people, but going somewhere just to check it out and just to say, like,
Yes.
this is somewhere I want to explore at some point, like Yosemite, for example. I went and I just kind of like drove around and did the loop, just checked out the valley, so that maybe one day I'll come back and I'll do the hikes and I'll get an idea and a sense of what I want to eventually do. And you'll come back to these places time and time again, and you'll offer a different perspective each time. So definitely permissioning yourself to enjoy nature, or enjoy whatever you're doing or whatever hike you're doing, like exactly where you are. And you don't have to push yourself and hike 20 miles if you aren't used to doing that. Obviously, that's going to be very challenging
Yeah.
if you're not used to doing that. So, maybe you just go to the trailhead just to see what the trailhead's like. Maybe you go there and have a picnic, and then the next time you come and do a little bit. So I think definitely titration has helped push myself, because I'm expanding my capacity to be able to do more. And then, just permissioning myself to be wherever I am at that moment. And, you don't have to do anything that you don't want to either. So,
Exactly. I hope everyone catches that because like that is such an important permissioning to just check it out. You don't have to commit to
Mhm.
anything. Just going and doing what is possible for you in the moment. I know a lot of people with anxiety are afraid to maybe like start a thing.
Mhm.
You know, if you just showing up is the marker for today, that's fantastic. Do that. You don't have to overwhelm yourself with all of these check marks. It's that is such an important perspective. So thank you so much for sharing that again. I
Yeah.
do remember that reel. I do
Yeah.
remember that reel. It was good.
Yeah, just the idea of putting yourself in the environment and
Yeah.
then allowing your nervous system to adjust, and then that way next time you can go a little bit further, and you
Yes.
can use that as a metaphor for a lot of things. So
Exactly, exactly. That's something that I coach my clients on personally. Like, you know, if you want to start going to the gym, you just driving to the gym
hmm
can be enough.
yeah,
That's a check for me. Like,
100%.
you know, you can't just drive to the gym forever, but if you need to take those baby steps, take those baby steps. So thank you again for sharing
Yeah.
that, Lauren.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you did a an Instagram live the other day about just making one little, it was like the 1%, just making one little tweak each day, and that, it compounds over time, and eventually you'll be able to hike 50 miles in one day if you want to.
100%. I don't think I'm ever going to be one of those people unless you're dragging me by a wagon. And then I'll probably get angry because I'm missing a lot of flowers. And I don't like to be in motion that much unless I'm in a car or a plane. And even then, I'm trouble. Please pull over. There was a goat. I need to say hi.
All right. Well,
Hi, baby. I,
Lila's making her appearance.
hi, Lila. Yeah, I've got, oh, I have, this is a rare. I have both kitties snuggling.
Aw, so sweet. Awesome. Well, thanks for chatting with me, Micah.
Yeah, this was
It was
great. Thank you so
awesome.
much.
Fun to chat with you about the outdoors, and thanks everyone for joining. And yeah, hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'm excited to see you in August.
If not sooner, because
Yes,
you never know.
you never know. It's true.
Have a good night.
Bye, you too.
Thank you.